not like the value you produce as an individual. Like sometimes the value is created when you connect people, and so that's just what I'm trying to do right now from my living room. So yeah, so it looks like Frantic's back in here. Here we go. Nah, just cut you off, bro. Just cut you off.
I heard you too. You're like, oh, this guy. It's like,
I was like,
man.
nigga, come on, bro. Let me just. Yeah, man. So yeah, you were saying it's just like being able to navigate these nerves like that you feel, and whether it's a battle or a showcase or whatever. Part of it is just exposure, right? Like it's like public speaking, like I used to hate public speaking, and now it's not so bad, it's not as bad, but I mean, we did an interview in Singapore, and my hand is shaking on the mic, my voice is like cracking.
Yeah, it's nerves, dog. Like, um, it's crazy. You just gotta overcome it. You just gotta keep practicing at it. But it's also like, but what I was saying, when homeboy asked that question was, it's how you acknowledge it, and sometimes it's like when somebody puts a camera on you right away, like I've seen a lot of people, once they get a camera on, they start performing for just the camera, and they forget like the whole entire moment. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a cipher environment and all you do is for the camera, then it's like, yeah, acknowledge it and have fun with it, but at the same time, don't forget that you're still in an environment. Like you're still in a public environment. Like, and I feel the best way to allow yourself to get over these nerves is to accept it. Accept that they're watching. Allow yourself to forget the judgment, forget all the negative things that you would naturally put into your mind, and just be like, man, I'm here. Like I'm enjoying it, and then learn from it, because it's like, if you're acknowledging the fact that you get nervous in front of people all the time, then at least you're aware of it. You're aware of a weakness that you can overcome, and make it a strength. So it's just more experience. The more experience you maintain and gain, the better, the outcome of who you are and what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, like, this idea that that these worlds that we create when we're getting down, we tap into our imagination, and sometimes we, you know Daniel Norwood or D Soul, right? Like we have to think about, like, create a character that exudes a certain essence, or you become somebody else mentally first, like the person you want to be, and you project into that, and then that allows you to get maybe a good performance under your belt, and then that allows you to start to gain the confidence that you need to build your whole self. It's just like
Yeah.
almost like taking on a theatrical character for a moment in time.
Yo, shout out to Funkmasphere for joining in.
Hey man, I miss Funkmasphere.
Hell
Damn.
yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What a
Those
trip.
are, man, talk about times, bro. Like the Carmen days, even the Virgil, like, oh man, it's so many good memories and ciphers in those places.
The music, dog. The music.
Yeah.
The music, man.
Eddie Funkster, shout out to Dame Funk. Man, those
Definitely.
guys. See, that's the thing I feel like we're missing in LA right now, is a consistent place where we, XL is throwing down,
Pop
Funk
Black
Freaks are
Box, yeah.
throwing down, but like a consistent place that's in LA that we can go to on a weekly basis is not, it's not running right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I feel like that's what kind of really gave the culture momentum at certain points too. We always had a place to go, whether it was Homeland or whether it was Carbon or Funkmosphere. We always had a place where we could go and meet up.
Yeah. That was the best. I think going to Homeland after going to Carbon,
Yeah.
it was nuts, bro.
Yeah, man.
Or having a weekly like Thursdays and Fridays and then Sundays. It's like I remember like how old are you now, fool?
I'm 31, bro.
Oh fuck, never mind. You're too old now. But I remember like being 26 and like going to dance events or just clubs Monday through Sunday, dog. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Shit was
You'd have a
crazy.
spot every night of the week, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, and then
Yeah.
all different genre of music, you know. So it was just being able to kill it, you know. But like
Yeah.
now, I'm like when I think about going out, I'm like, damn.
You gotta search for it now. It's hard,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Hell
And
yeah.
shout out to Funk Freaks, man. They got some dope ass parties, and it sits in the OC, you know, so it's a little ways for us, but we still push it down there sometimes.
Yeah,
But
even when like the homie Wave Patterns down here, but Boogie Bunch when they had that spot in Santa Monica
mm,
or in Venice, sorry, Venice. That shit was tight.
mm, yeah, man. Any place where we can congregate with music, man. And you know, there's a couple things, man, with what do you see what's gonna happen after this quarantine, man, with the coronavirus and everything, like, you know, how it's already impacted our scene. It's impacted us a lot, right? You know, there's no gathering in groups, and our whole culture is community based, you know. So whether it's workshops or, you know, battles and events, clubs, you know, what do you think is going to happen after this, or how do you see the scene kind of surviving it?
I mean, now it's obviously it's really about like doing things online and using the resources that we have. Like so like myself, like I'm basically tapping into teaching again on Saturdays because I feel like it's something that I've always stood away from because I enjoy personally like person to person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like that's always the best like way of being able to teach when I can really like focus on each individual student because they're all compressed in the room. But now it's like okay, now it's really about I really have to teach online. It's a whole different situation for
it
at least
is.
myself, and I feel like wow, this is actually something that we're diving into, and we've already kind of put ourselves in because like me doing the tutorials with Steezy, right? I was like, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to a camera, and it's like, and I have to really work the camera like we've done, like and
Yeah,
work the camera to the point where it almost seems like, damn, I'm really talking to you in this
yeah,
state. You know what I mean? And like, when we have to, acknowledge the people that are watching as well and show them appreciation. It's a lot more. I think it's a lot more centered as opposed to pushed out to like every single student. So now I can really just like learn how to really focus on the details of what's going on here, and 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 before I lose my point, the thing is, I feel like we have to really be smart about how we use our influences and how we influence people because like obviously social media is a thing, but I feel like this interaction with students and the world outside using technology is another thing, because I feel that people are starting to get confused because they're combining them way too much. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So, but when I teach a class now, like like Saturdays now, what I do is instead of going live and just like throwing shit out there just because, it's like I really want to focus more on the students that really want to learn. Really want to take this information. So like I have a class now Saturdays. It's $12. I'm just gonna do a drop for it. Fuck it, But the
yeah,
Saturdays,
yeah,
I have a class now. It's $12. If you look at my Instagram, uh, it's in order for you to get in, I have to have your information. You have to pay in advance, but it's only $12. Like I'm not trying to do a $20 workshop online and and work out, but it's like something to help me out in for this process because it's really like I can't just go rent a studio here in LA and pay for it and then basically hoping that I get students to come through, like I don't
Yeah.
work for a studio. I don't work for a platform other than Steezy. That's you know, I put in the hours of time. So this is just like something we have to really combine. But I feel like our community, and going back to the question, I feel like our community is so strong and so like, you know, it's no longer, it's taking away the concept of competition. You know what I mean? And people are really starting to feel like, oh, I'm alone and I'm not here. And it's like, and I think that that eventually is going to break, and they're going to see that people still support, people still show love, and then that the social media hype is not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
yeah, we're influencing through social media, but I also feel like when it comes down to being living this lifestyle and living like a true person, it's a whole different meaning now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so we're all locked up together in a sense. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like it's not just one person is, oh, doing time. It's like, damn, we're all doing time right now because, you know, we have to really be cautious about how we live our lives daily, outside. You know, like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy, bro. Like, you know, there's not a lot of people being very cautious about what's going on. But then there's a gang of people being very cautious and being way too cautious, you know. So
Mm.
it's like it's a confusing time, but I feel, you know, our community is still gonna stay strong. I'm just happy that honestly all these fucking competitions are gone, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Because I'm like, dude, everybody was like basically setting up for battles. They weren't really setting up to be the dancers. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
for me, it really helped me to like, all right, I want to see now who's gonna come out and be like really worthy. You know what I'm saying? And do it for just the cause, and do it for yourself, and do it for, you know, acknowledgement of like self. You know, so you can be as famous as you want to be now, because now you have no choice but to post a video. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you're gonna see like people blow up in different aspects, and other people just live it, and they're now having to live it because there's not events, there's no social gatherings, so people are having a hard time finding who they are, because it's like, damn, I don't have an event to go just like waste time, because that's
Yeah.
literally what they were doing at these competitions, is wasting fucking time, you know. So
Mm.
now they're really gonna appreciate these connections and this like bond that they would naturally create. So it's crazy, bro. But I feel our community is still gonna stay strong. We still got DJs, we still got music, we still got influencers in a way where it's like we're still living positive, and we're still being real in a way where it's like we're not hiding the negative shit, you know, like even though we're being optimistic and being, you know, like for me, like I'm okay. I was sick as fuck, but I know that I have to work hard to basically become stronger, you know? So this is my journey now. And this is, you know, people are going to journey with me in these classes and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a trip, bro.
Yeah, man. So check that out. Class it tomorrow. $12. Hit Frantic
Shit,
up.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, tomorrow, motherfucker. It's like there's only one tomorrow, right? There's like one tomorrow.
yeah, it's Saturday. Fuck, dog.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I think it's going to be interesting how this all unfolds. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of precautions that are going to have to happen, you know, as far as when we start to gather as groups again. We're just going to have to be real careful, you know, like whether
Yeah.
it's wearing face masks or, you know, whatever, you know, sanitizing, da da da. But I think honestly, I mean, if I had to just put my opinion out there, this is going to be looked back at a time. This is kind of a test run for viruses that could possibly be worse than this, you know. But as far as this one being like keep going throughout the years, you know, it's just going to be another sickness we can get. And this is the first year we're really building antibodies for it, you know, people becoming immune to it, that sort of stuff. So it's gonna affect a lot of people, and it's really sad, you know, it's tearing people up. One, it's tearing people up health wise in their if they get sick with it. Two, it's affecting people that are depressed or are battling addiction. Like there's people dying that are just, you know, dying from depression because then they get hooked on some sort of substance while they're quarantining.
Yeah.
So that's a big issue too. So you know, I think if we can really, the reason why I do these videos and stuff too is like I want people to stay focused. Like, you know, make these journals like structure your days and like set up your practices and really like stay focused and work towards what you value, because you know this time is like literally probably the only time in the past 100 years where the industrial, the societal chase the carrot rat race has come to a halt, and
Yeah.
everybody's like this is the first time a lot of people have the chance to think, man. So it's like this is the crucial time. This isn't the time to fucking tune out. Like, okay, watch a Netflix show. Don't watch a series. Like be diligent about what you're doing every day, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta
I mean,
work towards something.
it's I feel for like even the kids at home, or you know, or the wives at home that are being abused, some of the husbands, like it's really it's crazy, bro. You know, like when you look at people and how destructive their mentality can be just by being selfish. You know, like I don't wanna be in quarantine anymore. Like I feel this is dumb. Like we're wasting space. Or it's like, dude, like you don't realize how selfish that fucking really sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, I even felt bad for like that news was sending me a, you know, a petition to help them like to can maintain their work. And I feel like, man, I couldn't sign it, bro, because I'm like, you know, I've experienced it. I was positive for COVID-19, and I feel like, you know, you're working with DNA, you're working with hair, bro. Like that's that's you know, that's a whole different element. Like you're gonna be spreading hair all over the motherfucking place. And like it's just, you know, it sucks because like, yeah, you know, we're all out of work in some ways, you know, especially entertainers. Like we're trying to find ways to you know, stay afloat. Our stimulus isn't really great for our country, but you know, there's states that are in worse conditions and worse positions, and they're fighting it, dude. You know, it's like, you know, and it's like, I'm not going to go into like all these negative things about the virus, but I just feel like, you know, overall, you know, there's people in worse conditions. There's people who are like you said, fighting addiction. There's people that are basically, you know, fighting themselves from just living. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's easy to pick up a book, but it's easier to turn on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I remember just having this time when I first got pinched, and I remember just being the saddest I've ever been, because I looked at 10 years of my life being taken away, right? But what I come to accept was, well, fuck it. Like, it's 10 years of my life, and I have no choice but to figure it out, like how I'm gonna survive. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that are like really push themselves and be afloat and work something else and have a backup plan. But I also feel like there's some of us that just like, you know, you got to look out for yourself. You know, you got to really like look internal and see like, am I really ready for that next step? You know what I'm saying? And it's a trip, but that, like, somebody like Boardman helped me out in understanding a lot of things. Helped me create a dream board. Helped me like, you know, just constant contact and just like, yo, man, you good and you okay? Like everything okay? So it's like, you know, there's always a support system. You know, you just gotta learn where it's at, like, and who it is. So it's, yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like people, I think,
Yeah.
are letting shit go over their head and not really focusing on the true facts here. You know?
Yeah, shout out to Boardman. Yeah, he's been checking up on me too, man. It's like it's a blessing, you know, to have like these OGs that are like looking out for you, you know, making sure you're good. Um, and like this idea, like a dream board, it brought up my question was like, what is your dream, man? Because you know, you got a diverse array of interests, you know, so it's uh you know, you're a dancer, but you're also an artist, and you're also like that artistry, that person who you are. you know, you're represented kind of by this symbol of like you rep LA and you are a like Chicano culture and all this sort of stuff. But the person, like, what is your personal dreams and like desires for the future, man? Because you know, I could see a lot of things happening for you, but you know, I'm curious to what you want. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it always goes and like it's this crazy orb that circles me. You know what I mean? Like and leads me in so many directions. Um, but overall, like a really like dream that I have was to build a location for, I mean, not just dancers and movers, but for people that, for people, you know, like a community and like a community center that isn't just like one building. You know, it's a plaza of like connections for people to work together and for us, like what I've learned from traveling and you know the respect that I've given to other countries was to really like was to show like how in-house you know things can be if we just learn to work together, you know, and like if you need a printing of clothing and printing of shirts and alterations and tailored work and all this, like why don't we have a facility that does all of that, you know, and like and from that point expands together as opposed to individual. And I feel like the American attitude is to just do for yourself and build for yourself and build for your family and never to really like combine and come together, you know, like there's companies always buying out other companies to represent that company. It's like there's never really a combination of things that we influence. And I noticed that other countries have this like this way stronger build because they work together, you know, and it's really trippy, bro. That you know, I don't think people really see that change being necessary. Like right now, we could all be working together as opposed to against each other. You know, like everybody all of a sudden got scared and they're like, "What do I do?" They ran to the store and got toilet paper for their whole entire family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, that to me is just crazy, bro. Because there's really there was no reason for it, you know. And it's like, but that's what this country is built off of. It's just take, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that if we can hopefully change that mentality, is about to die. From how people live in prison, dog, because it's a community in there. I mean, like it's a whole different, it's a different city, you know, within the city, dog. And I feel that if we could, instead of like fighting to be the top, it's like how do we all grow together, you know? And that's been the biggest dream for me. Like how do we combine it all, you know? And like if I have a barber, boom, he has a spot. If I have a coffee man, boom, he has a spot. If I have a chiropractor, a physical therapist, like everything is just in one location, dog. And you know we're all helping each other out. And it's like the studios do it all the time. Like they have different rooms and all these different dancers are there to teach. But it's like what do we have for our community that just really doesn't go take choreography classes? They just want to learn technique and all this stuff, but they don't have the opportunity to do that, you know. But if we start somewhere, I feel like that would be an inspiration for the world to like be able to understand that, you know. And I feel like Europe already has it. You know, they have they have dance schools that they learn everything, bro, from yoga to fucking ballet to, you know, breaking to locking. Like it's all street. That to me is crazy. Like how don't we have that here? Like how been in, but you have a bunch of companies that do that. You have Versatile, you have Coordinators are trying, but you have Assassin's Crew. What's the can't even think now, but you know, you have a bunch of different organizations like in different areas, but never, you know what I'm saying? That to me, I feel like that would be a very, especially just being smart about how we grow together, you know?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, bro. But is it because your phone's dying?
Yeah, probably, I don't know, ever since that happened, just,
It's like hella lagging right now. It's like grainy and choppy.
Can you hear me?
No, no, it's choppy.
Damn,
Like,
it
can
sucks.
you hear me now? We'll
Is that
see.
better? Is that better?
Uh, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, there
All
we
right.
go. It's back. All right. Yeah, it's back. I think.
It's crazy. All
Yeah,
right.
there we go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so yeah, as far as the unity aspect, Europe, you were saying, has got it down and stuff, and yeah, man, it's gonna take a whole cultural shift. It's gonna be something that we work for our whole life, probably, as far as bringing people together and really trying to create a shift where we're all looking out for each other. It's in other countries they can get government grants that allow them to build these facilities and things like that. When the U.S. right now is not like, at least that I know of, I'm not like super educated in applying for grants, but I think it's a lot harder in the U.S. than it is in other places. So the U.S. it's got to make a shift where we gotta see that art is essential for for everyone, really, right? Like, um, too much of our society is focused on logic and reason, and the abstraction of art gets kind of lost in the mix of capitalism, just because it's not like a great investment or something, right? But the investment is not a direct, like, the art is not a product that is like sold. The culture is not something that's like sold constantly. The culture is what allows everything to thrive off of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a culture shift that's gonna be it's gonna take a while, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's the dream, bro. That's one dream that I had, and
What
like,
about your cooking dreams?
well, that too. Like, I want to. That would be a spot where I could open my restaurant, and like, it's like I could have a vegan spot. I could have just a burrito spot with boogie burritos. You know what I mean? And a boogie burger joint. Like, bro, I have so many ideas when it comes to food and just a combination of like taste, texture, and what I've learned to mix, um, you know, seasonings and spices from different cultures and different areas. It's like it's crazy, like what I've learned. I learned. I took a 7-day crash course in cooking in Thailand. I've learned, cooking techniques from China. I've learned, watched just, a numerous amount of like information, but when it comes down to knowing like the knowledge, like Boogie Burger joint over there, like the knowledge of like how much to make. Like I've only barbecued for my homies and shit, bro. Like I've only barbecued for, or cooked for 30 people at the most. You know what I'm saying? So I ran a restaurant when I was in Thailand, bro, for a day. Like
Yeah,
it was dope. Like that experience alone, showing people where I come from, like where like I made filet mignon taste like carne asada, bro. Like that shit was bomb, like using
yeah,
a whole different seasoning from a whole different uh, uh, side of the world, dog. It was crazy, and it literally tasted like ranchera meat, bro. Like that shit was nuts.
yeah. Like
So
I could see you being like the artist that's creating the recipes. Like that you could leave the rest. Like you could develop the menu, you could develop you could shop for the ingredients. Like you tell people how to do it, and then you just like hands off. You're the face of it type thing.
yeah, like
Yeah,
there was one thing, like even what G Money's saying right there, like shrimp burgers. Like I can literally make a shrimp patty, bro. Like it's crazy. The things I've learned from being in different countries, like the stuff, I was able to even show people like in Argentina, like flautas or big ass tacos in Poland, like You know, I've noticed in certain areas like Singapore, there ain't no bomb ass Mexican food in Singapore, bro. But I know I can bring that shit there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
simple street food. Like, it would be the simplest shit, and it's just how you season it. It's just how you flavor it, bro. Like, I don't know. I feel, you know, I'm scared, bro. Like, I'm really scared on what I could do with that shit. To be honest, like,
yeah.
it's one of those
It,
things, dog. Like,
yeah, some of it's just like you know, probably 60% of getting that stuff up and running is you know, like thinking about a taco joint in Singapore is one is like all the navigation of the laws and the permits and the visas and all that sort
that
of
shit is
stuff.
crazy, man.
Yeah, see that's the things that cripple ideas, you know. So that's another thing we got to add to this culture is like we need people that are like lawyers, like people that are able to open us up to like let the ideas flourish, you know, get the system out of the way that's kind of set up for people that are already flourishing, you know, like we need to get people that allow to break that open for us, you know.
Yeah,
Um, and hopefully one day I'll be able to do that, man, like in some type of way, like whether it's through knowing laws or knowing people that know laws, you know, things like that. Uh, I think that's one thing that we're really good at too is networking and connecting people. So it's only a matter of time. Like that's why I think these interviews are great, is because, you know, whether it's somebody who follows me or follows you or it's the first time they heard this idea, you know. So you know, the more people that we reach and put our ideas out in the world, like the more likely they are to come to fruition.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's crazy, bro. I have had an idea of like having a food truck with a DJ, like all this shit. Like, there's so much, dog. It's crazy, dude. You know,
Yeah,
and I know these are like me. I'm throwing out ideas and maybe inspiring somebody to be like, oh shit, I never thought about that. You know, but like having a legit ass surround sound and playing house music, like having a legit ass surround sound playing hip hop or just break beats and just funk and just good vibes. Like I remember when I did this restaurant in Thailand, I literally played music to the food. Like, I was playing like from Red Hot Chili Peppers and Marvin Gaye, like classics, like all these different genres, and just putting the speaker to the food and just like, you know, and just jamming with that shit and just be like, yo, this is gonna be a good time, like regardless, you know, like
yeah, yeah,
I'm enjoying the moment and shit. I think I posted a
yeah.
video. I was in an apron popping in the fucking kitchen and shit, you know, but like, and then, you know, combining with that, like I can design the fucking clothing, like I can design our uniforms, like what I'm wearing today. I fucking design my goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy, dog. Like so many different directions, man. It's just, but it's funding, dog. Like this shit costs me money, you know. It's
Yeah.
and dancing, unfortunately, isn't the best.
It's not the best investment. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
like,
it's, you know, and yeah, like, dude, it's just fucked up, man.
yeah. See,
Should have.
dance is a tough one, man, because it's a real sticky business because the amount of time that we invest into the craft is crazy, and you know, we're supposed to kind of like in most other fields throughout our life, like look, even me, I've spent 10 and a half years popping, right? Like that's two PhDs, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like like I know I still feel like young in the game, but like wait, you're 28 years, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
dog.
if you invested that amount of time in any other like societal like society approved pursuit, you would be rolling in dough right now, you know? It's like, but you know, I think the fact is, that's also the beauty of it too, is that this struggle and this journey that we set out on is not generally accepted. So it unites us with people around the world that are in the same path as us, you know, and
Yeah,
there's no way to put value on the relationships that we built through this dance. Like we speak a language where we can travel anywhere in the world and make a friend, you know what I'm saying? And that's we've unlocked cultures through this movement because you go to anywhere, you don't even have to let people know you're going. You start getting down, people are gonna be like, yo, this guy's crazy right here, like we should have him over for dinner, you know.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that culture is unlocked for you. Now how do you monetize that? Maybe we don't, and maybe we it doesn't need to be, because as long as we have food in our stomach and we got a roof over our head and people that love us, like, and we're able to love people back, it's like that's all that we need in life, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Prelims don't give a shit about PhDs.
Prelims don't give, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Man,
but but
it's
yeah, bro.
yeah, it's yeah, dog. No matter passion. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's like, yeah, you have to educate yourself in business, you know, and really learn how to work the system and how to maneuver, you know, how to maneuver really, and that's something that I wish I would have learned a lot younger. So if if you have dreams and goals, like, you know, use education to help you succeed in that as well, you know, and pursue it. I feel, you know, that's my goal for the next generation, this next generation that's coming up. You know, it's like we got to really help them become a business and set their mind to be a business, because I learned that, you know, I learned so much going to 2 meetings with Dancers Alliance about how to be a business as an entertainer, as a dancer. And, you know, we got hit with so many different laws within one, you know, within a short span of time. And it was like, damn. And then all of a sudden, we got hit with this COVID-19 pandemic and, you know, this quarantine. Like, it was just like a constant, like, just basically, you know, drop, because now there's, you know, we have to look for grants, we have to look for funding, we have to look for outsource of income without, you know, and what work can we really put in besides putting out videos? You know, it's like there's really not much else we can do. Can't go to auditions. You can't really go and be around so many people. You can't continue to film a movie if you were in a movie or a commercial, and if you're in a commercial, you know, so like really halted. Even for Steezy, like I can't go and teach these tutorials anymore until until they, you know, we can all come together again. It's like it's a trip, bro. Like, you know, so to really like think about stuff. If I'm studying business right now, if I'm studying all this information, it's just gonna help me, you know, become the better person and become stronger with my goals and my pursuing to become successful in life. You know.
Yeah, man. Truth be told, man, it's like the idea for me that kind of comes to mind is like compounding interest. Like, there's this idea, like when you invest in stocks, right? So you invest in stocks, you know, and it you gather interest on it per year, right? So it goes up 5% in a year. But then basically the 5% that's added to that total, you get another 5% the next year. So the 5% is growing in numbers. So at that time, like that basic concept that's applied in stocks can it be applied in your life too. Like when you invest your time, like when you invest your time, you have to think about the value of that time and how you approach everything that you do. Because for example, if you learn business and law and stuff to navigate the artistry and how to really you know, build companies and things like that early on,
Yeah,
from like
early
say you're
on.
25 years old, that has a compounding interest through your life. Now if you're learning business at 45 years old, you know, that's you're getting closer to retirement, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
you know, so the things that you learn early on have a compounding interest through your life. And same with the negative stuff. That negative mindset and experiences that you have can, if you don't stop them quickly, they can compound throughout your life as well. So it's like the things we got to really invest in are like be intentional with your time, you know, like
yeah,
not only learn how to dance, but you gotta know why you're doing things. So whether it's reading a book or whether it's dancing, you gotta kind of unveil why you're doing it. So then it's all leading to what you want years down the road, because time starts to go, man.
bro, it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy how fast the shit grows.
for real, man. For real. It's crazy. I'm 31 now, man. We met 10 years ago, basically.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been
bro.
10 years, bro. 10
Oh,
years.
he's 31. Oh,
I'm not a kid no more, man. Yeah, bro. Well, anyways, bro, you got
yeah.
any parting words, any last words of advice for these guys?
Shit, man. Just you know, I know we're in a situation in life where you feel maybe confined from out things, but I feel the more inside you can work on, the stronger you'll become as a person. And my best advice, like what I had learning and what I learned from as far as being isolated from people is, you know, it, I studied literature books. I studied how to write memoirs, how to articulate, how to tell a story in details. So it's a learning curve, like right at this moment, just take the time to learn. And sometimes it's good to put your phone down and disconnect and just like come outside, take a breath, go to your backyard or go to your balcony, or just open a window, whatever it is. Like if you're isolated in a room, then just envision like what it is to be outside and just you know really connect with yourself as much as possible. um, the best friend that you can really carry is who you are with yourself and how much you inspire yourself. And I know that it's a fight, because we all deal with depression and we all deal with anxiety and we all deal with ways of just like putting ourselves down. But I feel if you can really coach yourself to be positive and negative, then there's that balance. It's not always constantly negative. There's always going to be somebody there within you that's really keeping that positive side of pushing. So yeah, man. Study about as much as you possibly can, even if it's just anything random. How to build a garden and how to build an inside garden in your kitchen. Like anything you can possibly
Yes.
do. Just maintain that and keep the creative energy alive. If you're a creative, um, please keep the creative energy alive, because we are definitely going to need you. When things open up and expand. So yeah, and I'm teaching tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm also going to be going live with Boardman on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to have a good talk with him. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, like, I'm also trying to set up a workshop with Boardman on how to build a dream board to help us pursue our future endeavors and to really, push ourselves to see where we can grow visually. So you
Oh,
wake up every day and have a vision board that's there for you to like, set up goals and set up dreams and stuff like that, so that you can pursue. And it's there. It's that opening up that raz. Like being able to
mhm.
see things that like you welcome yourself to, and you welcome in the good things. So if you need some positive affirmations, I have a bunch. I can send you guys positive affirmations that you can read every morning and every night. That's something I do every day. I read a positive affirmation, a simple prayer to myself, and just to the energies that we're surrounded by. So keep up the good work and keep up the positive attitudes and exercise, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Y'all heard it. Yeah, man. It's gonna be this is a good time to really travel within, man, since we can't be traveling abroad. So, you know, unfortunately it's kind of forced upon us, but this is I think we can just really make this a blessing in disguise. So yeah, always be
Hell
present
yeah.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also
Anyways,
check on your family members, man. Call them and just, even if they're annoying, just be like, all right, man, I just called to, say you're good, you're good. All right, fuck off. Like whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
check in.
Right to your homies that are, behind bars, so,
Yeah.
and your family members, man, like forgive. Just learn forgiveness, man. All right, love y'all.
Yeah. Peace, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Much love.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace, bro.